Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Merlin. Last time on Merlin we had the Dark Tower, where Gwen was captured by Morgana and taken to the Dark Tower, where she was tortured by mandrakes for at least a week, I would assume, but for a long time. Eventually the gang made it there, but they did save Gwen, but at the cost of Elian's life. Elian is now dead. And some shit happened, and Gwen is now on Morgana's side, though we believe that there is some screwery with her brain going on. Screwery. Screwery. Isn't that a JoJo reference? No. Screw-er-e. Yes, that's it. Yeah, so that may have lasting effects on the coming episodes of this season, but yeah. That was basically it. There wasn't actually a ton in that episode, but it was still really good. A lot of good performances, and obviously, like I said, what seemed to be lasting implications for future episodes. So, this is where I say that if you want to watch my reaction to this episode of Merlin, what you gotta do is head down in the description or to the pinned comment. Click on the link there. That will take you over to the reaction. You can watch it. Hopefully have a good time. When you're done with that, you can pop right back over here to this video for the discussion. So, let's go ahead and get started on this episode of Merlin. Here we go. Alrighty, that's episode 7, which means we are now to the halfway point of the season. Isn't that pretty crazy? It's all downhill from here. No, I'm sure the rest of these episodes are going to be amazing. But that being said, this episode was good. It was alright. It was good. Nothing spectacular, but a good episode. I mean, I suppose this is sort of like last episode where it's like, well, this episode has implications for future episodes. But, yeah, I mean, it's basically, granted, last episode I felt like had a lot more than this episode, which is something because even last episode I was like, there's implications, but, only some stuff happened. This episode, it's like, okay, it's another assassination attempt on Arthur. The difference being that it's Gwen doing the assassination attempt, and Merlin now knows that it's Gwen, So, again, it's like implications for future episodes is now Merlin knows that Gwen has been brainwashed by Morgana. So, that does remind me, when the season started, some of you guys were saying that you didn't like Gwen in this season. And I was only going off of the first 2 episodes. I was like, okay, well, I can kind of see, she had to take, like, drastic action to lure Davos over to lure him to Camelot in order to kill him. So, like, I understood that, but I was like, oh, okay, well, I'm curious to see what else we're doing with Gwen. I don't know if this is what you guys meant, like, oh, well, because Gwen gets brainwashed, I don't know if this is what you guys meant when you said that, but, I mean, if it is, I don't know, like, it's interesting. They haven't done much with it yet, They haven't done too much with it yet. They've just sort of, she's just, had an assassination attempt. How many times have we seen that on Merlin, where the king almost gets killed, So, in a sense, there's not a ton we can really talk about with this episode. It's like, again, like, there's some cool stuff, there's some cool stuff, and now we at least have Merlin on the trail, he's, now investigating Gwen, basically. But overall, not a whole lot. And okay, something interesting that I'd like to point out is that we're on episode 7. We're on episode 7, and I swear they have completely forgotten about Mordred. I swear they have completely forgotten about Mordred because, like, I don't know, like, the first 2 episodes, had a lot of Mordred, and they, had the prophecy of, like, oh, well, Mordred will play a part in Arthur's death, and it's like, okay, but that's not happening, but we're not building up to that in any way. He's just sort of here, So, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird, like, we have Mordred, but we're not doing anything with him. We haven't done, like, he's only had 1 line since that episode, really, which was in episode 3, so, yeah, I don't know, it just seems kind of weird, We can go ahead and get into the notes. The first thing I wrote down is the saddle and Samuel Tarly. Man, I love John Bradley. Like, he was maybe one of the best things in Thrones, in Game of Thrones, which is saying something. But it's like at the very least, like, he was the most consistently, like, really, really good character. Like, I just love Samuel Tarly in that show. And so to see him here is actually really cool. And also just the fact that he's kind of just playing, like, season 1 Samuel Tarly, honestly. I like that. And yeah, just seeing him younger, this is 2012. When did he first... he would have first shown up in season 1 of Game of Thrones. So I wonder, like... I wonder when that was. I don't remember when Game of Thrones... Alright, this says 2011, so... Okay, there it goes. Jesus. Season 1. Winter's Coming, King's Road. It's probably Lord Snow. What? God damn it, that's not what I wanted to click. Come on. Was Sam not in that one? Nah, he had to have been, right? Maybe not. Yeah, I guess not. Okay. Huh. Well, I could have sworn. Well, it must have just been in some other... Like, maybe it's episode 4. I don't know. Well, I mean, I'm pretty sure he is in season 1, right? Like, that's what I'm trying to get at, is that, yeah, okay, episode 4, which... Episode 4 was May of 2011. This is 2012, so he had already started... He was already on Game of Thrones by the time they made this episode, So that's pretty interesting. And yeah, he honestly is... I mean, it's not exactly the same, because obviously this character is not in the same circumstances that Samuel Tarly is in, but it's just nice to see him, and man, just the way he honestly slips into it, Like, I don't know, like, for some reason I really noticed it here in this episode, like, the way he delivers lines, I don't know why, but it feels so... It's amazing, honestly, and I cannot explain why. Sometimes you would get, like, sort of a one-off character like this. For some reason, I just think he did that really, really well. It must just be... Maybe I'm biased. Maybe it's just because I've already had, 8 seasons with Samuel Tarly that I'm already like, oh, man, he's so good in this, and he only has a few lines, I don't know. But yeah, so we had 2 assassination attempts this episode. We had the first with the saddle, which, okay... It's like, okay, they have the saddle, and he gets knocked off the horse, and these 2 guys come up, and they try to kill him. How is this a plan by Morgana or Gwen? They do realize that this is Arthur Pendragon, the greatest warrior who ever lived. And I'm not saying that, like if it's something in Legends or what. No, in this show, there is literally no one better than Arthur Pendragon when it comes to combat. You can't beat him unless you literally have sorcery. You know? And the only time he was beaten without sorcery was when Uther beat him, and he let him win, specifically, and Uther knew that, you know? So, that's the thing, it's like the plan is, we'll knock him off the horse, then these two guys will try to kill him. But that just doesn't work. This is Arthur Pendragon we're talking about, you know? So yeah, it was interesting, but still, and it is interesting that I like that Gwen always sort of has a fallback, basically. Although I guess she didn't really plan, well, because she didn't really plan on making Sam. I don't care what his character's name was. I'm calling him Sam, just like I said Davos earlier. You know, earlier in the season. She never planned on, like, threatening Sam. It just happened because he was there and he saw her, you know? So, yeah. I don't know. But yeah, we had her threaten his mother that he was going to kill her, and then she did straight up kill him, which is like, oh man, you know, yeah, she's brainwashed, but Guinevere just killed someone. Like, jeez. And I have to say, when she was going there, it's like, oh, no, don't worry. Your mother is alive and well. Don't worry about that. She's not the problem. You are. And it's like, I don't know why, but she was really damn sexy in that scene. I'm sorry. But because she's sort of just, you know, played... Like, she's basically hidden it throughout the entire episode of, you know, she's just like she hasn't, it's the first time she had a moment like that where she got to be the villain, you know? And it's very clear that it's taking, you know, a page out of Katie McGrath's book. It's like, if you're going to be evil, you're going to look damn sexy while you do it, you know? It's like, oh my gosh, I can't deal... like, if these two women looked at me in an evil way, I think I would just melt. Like, seriously. Like, I cannot deal with how evilly cute they are. Like, it's ridiculous, you know? So yeah, but she straight up fucking killed him. Like, that was crazy. Okay, I wrote down the ear poison. Why? That's so specific. Like, that is so friggin' specific. You know, it's like, okay, use this to knock him out, okay, and then use this to poison him, okay, but it's specifically, you have to put it in their ear, and then that will kill them, like, which, and the other thing, Morgana again, like, oh, let's use the poison that will kill him really, really slowly so that our enemies have a chance to save him. No! What are you doing? Every time, just kill him. Just, like, she should have gone in there and be like, I want the fastest acting poison that you have. This needs to be done in a heartbeat. Like, this, oh my god, Morgana drives me up a wall in more ways than one, you know? I'm going insane watching this girl fail. And I know we've said, when Morgana wins. But when she loses, it is almost embarrassing. You just go for the fastest acting poison ever. Why does it matter? Oh. And then to top it all off, it goes in through the ear. Who does that? Come on. Anyway. Merlin was the fall guy for the ear poison attempt, which was interesting. And again, you know, Morgana said, like, oh, well, you gotta sway the knights, you know, so that you can take the throne. Which I'm curious how, if Gwen takes the throne, how is Morgana then going to take the throne? But I guess we'll cross that bridge if we get there. So... yeah. I don't know. Excuse me, I'm tired. I recorded Mockingjay Part 2 today, so I'm very exhausted. Oh. Anyway. But yeah, so... But I mean, Gwen, she was really working it, I gotta say. Now again, it's like, okay, this works out because, you know, like, if Arthur dies, she can take the throne. And that works out great for Morgana. But again, that only works because Arthur and Guinevere don't have a child. Otherwise, Guinevere would become Queen Regent. Or maybe if she did become queen, everyone would be like, okay, you're queen until your, you know, child comes of age, you know? Until the prince or the princess comes of age, basically. So that works out in Morgana's favor that they don't have a kid. But again, I ask, how in 3 years have they not had a kid? When Arthur is going out, risking his life, and also getting assassination attempts, how have they not had a child yet? I don't get that. I don't get it. Oh, man. Merlin was in the old man makeup again. That was fun, obviously, because you know Colin Morgan loves it. We also had Katie McGrath in the old age makeup, too. I want them to have a scene where they're both old and yelling at each other. God, that sounds like so much fun, you know? Okay, and another thing... So another thing about Mordred, when they're like, oh, it needs to be your magic in order to be able to cure Arthur, and it's like, okay, now, I was kind of thinking, like, I was thinking, why not ask Mordred? You know Mordred has magic, you could ask. You know, right now, at least as far as we know, he is loyal to Arthur, so why not ask him? Be like, hey, Mordred, how about you cure the king? You know, while Merlin's in prison. I don't know. Like, that could have been an interesting way to actually use Mordred in an episode, you know? So, there was that. But, on the other hand, I will acknowledge that it's possible that Mordred's magic is not as powerful as Merlin's, you know? And not to go back into the whole power level discussion that we had a couple episodes back, but it is possible that Mordred's magic is not as powerful, so we don't really know. But yeah, I like that when Arthur was cured and he woke up, he was like, there's no way that it's Merlin, get him out of there. He doesn't know who actually poisoned him, but he knew it wouldn't be Merlin, and the cook did work as an alibi, you know? So that works. So I like that. But I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it. That's kind of all I got for this episode. It was a good episode. I enjoyed it. But again, not a ton of stuff that happened. Not a ton. But again, more implications for the future, because now Merlin is on the case of the brainwashed Guinevere. The brainwashed Guinevere. That sounds like a Sherlock Holmes story, or like just an episode of Sherlock, you know? The brainwashed Guinevere. I don't know what kind of Sherlock story that would be, but whatever. But yeah, so... that's basically it. That's all I got. Good episode. Curious to see where we're going next time as we go to the latter half of season whatever 5. With all that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. If you want to watch more of my Merlin reactions, you can click on the playlist, you can subscribe if you haven't done that already, and be sure you hit that notification bell. You can support me on Patreon and follow me on social media, links below in the description. See you guys later.